Hey, what's up grinders? I am Hazard and this week in a Box of War we have a Centaur Journey event with green color restriction. Now let's go check what that is all about. Normally you would think Centaurs are yellow color restricted, but apparently that is not the case this week. But let's see if we can make this work, even though the troop pool is very small in my opinion. This week's event captain Hippolyta has once again double magic, and if the third trait is unlocked, she will gain times 2, times 2.5 or times 3 miles in the event based on the ascension of the troop. So naturally you want to obtain the troop, and that can be down here in the event shop. And here's a reminder, just getting the troop won't get you max points. You also have to ascend the troop and trade her as well, and obviously use her in your lineup. This is very easy to forget, especially if you're in a rush or something like that. You can buy more tiers to get more copies, but I prefer to save my gems and just slap a couple of blue orbs on her to be able to fully level up her. So the event captain Hippolyta deals magic plus 4 damage to an enemy and then creates 3 green gems, boosted by Centaur allies. So when your team consists of only Centaurs, she will create 15 green gems per cast. Pretty basic stuff for these Pathfinder troops. This one though has very nice traits too. Eagle Eye places Hunter's Mark on an enemy when she deals skull damage, which means that as long as she isn't stunned and the enemy isn't immune to status effects, she will always deal double skull damage. Now, when you add the armor piercing trait, there is 50% chance she deals that double skull damage straight to the enemy's life. That's pretty neat, however it's nothing game changing though. The main strategy is still to loop with green gems, if you ask me. So, by the way, about the scoring, now that the devs have settled with the reward thresholds, these journey events are kind of tier 4 events if played in an optimal way, and everyone does exactly the same. In a full guild where everyone buys the Pathfinder, remembers to fully level them up and always takes the highest miles battle, the average miles per player is 10,500 miles. This is around 83 battles give or take, and is slightly over tier 2. So if there are some unsung heroes guildmasters who go way deeper than is needed, then most members of the guild can settle with tier 3. Yeah. So let's take a look at the teams, what I've been planning over here. Right. Gotta find the new troop. What was she called? Alright. Gotta buy her first. Yep. You get a copy of the troop here in tier 2. Yeah. And I'm also going to buy this new weapon. By the way, about this weapon, Verdant Reaver, this looks pretty trash at the first sight. Deals magic plus 4 damage to an enemy boosted by green allies and Centaur allies, but if you are a very new player, this could actually help you, because of course if you have the ingots to upgrade this. In the upgrades, this weapon has tangling, which entangles the top enemy, and then it has also leaf upgrade that conjures a leaf storm. Not absolute trash, but pretty bad nevertheless. Right, okay. So what I've been planning, could trade this Pathfinder first and ascend as well with the orbs, or you can of course go and buy extra copies in the shop if you prefer that. There, and level up as well. Get a little bit of HP boost. So I'm thinking Hippolyta, and then I'm thinking to Worldbreaker, pretty nice, create those green gems. And the World Breaker explodes 80 gems on the board and deals AoE damage to all enemies. World Breaker also gains 5 to random skill on 4 or 5 gem magics, and naturally those are going to happen a lot with these Pathfinder troops. And what I like the most, during this current campaign, those heroic gems, hourglass gems, are going to spawn on the from the sky. So when you cast World Breaker, you're pretty much guaranteed an extra turn if that hourglass gem is on the board, because this World Breaker usually explodes the whole board and then deals the damage. I think this troop over here is pretty nice even for the late level teams, and especially for the late level teams. Orion's Herald summons Orion for meat shield and then give all allies some life as well. So let's just slap him on the team too. And we also need hero, so I'm thinking, just a second, Javelin of Suncrest. Remove all yellow gems and then deal magic plus 5 damage to an enemy boost by gems removed. If the enemy is from Suncrest or if the battle is in Suncrest, deal double damage. Now this sounds pretty stupid to add, but check this out. This has the quick upgrade, aka gains an extra turn, unless frozen of course. So we can pretty much trade costs with Hippolyta and Javelin of Suncrest here. Now to make this team full Centaur team, we want to equip the Oracle class. Very trash class to be honest, but at least it has Light Storm at the start of the battle and Tree of Knowledge, and that's about it to be honest. Some little bit of magic boost for your troops. Pretty trash class, but at least you are going to create those maximum amount of gems with Hippolyta. For the later fights you could do this kind of swap, so when the enemy is going to deal more damage to you, skull damage, you aren't going to lose your Hippolyta, but you lose your hero, and then you can summon replacement with Orion's Herald. And Orion is Centaur, so you are going to keep the maximum amount of gems created with Hippolyta. We would like to have green, yellow and blue banner, and that's about it. For these very first fights I'm going to slap Hippolyta up top over here so I can speed up the fight a little bit. Let's try this team here in the very first fight. And if you don't have the World Breaker, you just add some other troop in his place. Let's get Hippolyta up, do damage and create gems. Now we could cast either a Javelin of Suncrest and get extra turn, or cast World Breaker and be done with the enemies. There. I think I'm going to pause the recording over here and move a little bit forward with these battles so that they get slightly harder, and then show the next team. Be right back. Alright, so after testing few fights for the first team, I'm not entirely convinced I want to have a Light Storm running in the background, nor to use Oracle class at all. So, little bit of tweaking. I switched to Archer class for a couple of reasons. Archer has 50% start and 50% chance for skull damage to be lethal. And we have Hunter's Mark, Root Trap. It protects our troops at the start of the fight, and also has Leaf Storm at the start of the battle. Dodge also helps, and this level 100 talent is does nothing for us. So I also swapped the Javelin of Suncrest to Essence of Evil. This is kind of a move for later level fights, because we have the 50% start and the Entangle or the Root Trap talent right at the start of the battle the starting explosion should fill up our Essence of Evil, and we have a backup protection there. So we can slap all the negative status effects on the top troop of the enemy. We moved Hippolyta to the second position because I think this is our most important troop, so we want to protect her. And we are still using World Breaker. This is pretty nice, but I think you should maybe consider getting another Hippolyta instead World Breaker here. And maybe use Hippolyta up top, another Hippolyta, and Essence of Evil here in the third position. Because EoE as a single-handedly can win fights for you. Right, let's try this team in the battle against, these are rogues, yeah. Here we go. One thing to mention, now that we are using Archer class, we have only 3 Centaur troops, but in my experience that is not a big problem because there is the Leaf Storm running in the background. Our EoE is full, so once this King of Thieves get rid of the Entangle, we can just slap all the negative status effect and protect our hero that way. Let's start with Wild Blackheart there. Gone. I always forget these event captains have a double magic. Wow, that's a heavy damage, but that doesn't get the job done in the very late fights later in the week. Okay, let's try one more. These are against Phase. Yeah. 3 Centaur troops is enough if you have supporting Storm running in the background. Let's take that. Don't take my green gems, thank you. We wanna get rid of the Raven. Now we could slap EoE over here, then start dealing damage to Orion over there. Create those green gems, and we could explode the board with World Breaker and be done with the fight. This is easy peasy right over here, but this is going to get a little bit harder in the later levels. I'm going to say that. For that, I have another trick in my pocket. Good old TS. Trickster Shot. Trickster Shot eliminates all armor from an enemy and then deals magic plus 3 damage. Then against 2 magic, which is boosted by the armor eliminated, and the boost ratio is 3:1. So for the very late fights when the enemy has very high HP, you can use a Trickster Shot to eliminate their armors, loop with Hippolyta, and then deal a massive damage later on when you have ripped all the armor. It's going to be very high, and the scales also. The upgrades are pretty nice. Hunter's Mark the first enemy, and enchanting that enchants your hero. For this combination, I definitely would get rid of the World Breaker and use some meat shield up top. Maybe something that has low mana cost and doesn't mana block your other troops. I'm thinking Dragotar here. Like this. And this. Again, a meat shield. We don't cast this. Hippolyta we loop with this. And we take the extra turns and then cast our Trickster Shot. Eliminates the armor and gets a magic boost. And we are still using Orange Herald in the 4th slot in case we have to summon meat shield. And maybe it would be better with this team to use the Oracle class, but I think for the very late fights I would swap to Elementalist and switch that Storm Aura off. I think this is worth it. When you are looping, you are protecting all your troops with Entangle and Freeze, and Stun of course too. Let's try how this rolls. When you don't have the Green Storm running and don't have a full Centaur team, There is a chance that you are going to miss your turn and the enemy gets lots of green mana, but you gotta give something in order to survive in the very late fights. Let's take that. Try to avoid taking the green gems. And we wanna get rid of you. Yep, we lost our turn right away. But we can now cast... Yeah, trickster shot. We are dealing now 54 damage. When I remove the armor, we would now be dealing 77 damage. And this scales as much you go forwards with the enemy battles. Sorry, I can't English and think at the same time. Let's loop and miss our turn. But I think this is going to deal the last enemy. Yes. This team is just for the very high end battles. It's going to be very nice to deal that heavy damage with trickster shot. Later on. One more fight and we're going to move to Underspire. Nice, nice, nice. We could get rid of you. Yeah. Inflict the status effects so we are safe. Try to loop. Yes. 81 damage after ripping the armor. We are going to deal 110 damage. Look, look, look. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Nice. Those kind of teams. Hopefully this helps. Let me know in the comments if you're using some different team. But, well, to be honest, we don't have much to play with. Look at that. 4, 8, 12, 13 troops, except the buck. Well, 14. Right. Alright, we have that stupid Halloween event as well. I suppose I could take a look at that. Curse of the Werewolf. I have one sheet left. I'm using this kind of team. Purple, mana, and well, pick your poison. I like to use Troll and Diamantina. Because it just works. And Orb Weaver class to get some purples on the board. There, and D is full and done. Yeah, that kind of very, very nice. There. Let's go check Underspire. Okay, I'm hoping my boss is over here, and I'm using this kind of team. Herdmaster explodes 45, magic +1, yellow gems, and then cleanse all allies. And then I'm using Eye of Orion, which also explodes yellow gems, and then grants a random status effect to all Divinium Fields allies and summons a Divinium Fields troop. Here I'm using Wallbreaker as our main damage dealer, and I'm using Ori at the bottom of the team for that constant Starstorm. Starstorm is yellow-purple storm that is constant and helps with the spamming for real though. If you get Herdmaster or Eye of Orion up, you can pretty much spam with these and then deal damage with Worldbreaker and spam the board more, and you can... Well, this is very explosive team, let's say that. Let's try this in battle. You try to get your hero or Herdmaster up. And do we have... No, let's take that. And let's take... Oh wow, bad starting board. Let's take... There. Okay, now we get going. Yeah. There is a Hourglass gem, so we cast Wallbreaker and get an extra turn, and well, we wipe the enemy as well. Pretty easy battles. Let's see, boss, please. Yeah, there it is. The reason I went over here is because this is my main path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the gate is here. I decided to go over here. Well, I looked over here too, but I didn't like how it looked like, so I went over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and because this fourth tile here in the boss path is an intersection, I know the boss won't be over here. 5, 5 and 6 battle over here. Right. Let's use Lantern over here and go fight against Gornicherling. Gornicherling. I love to pronounce that. Gornicherling. Yes. Yellow, purple, or brown, red. Herdmaster is up. Spam the board. Try to get your hero up as well. Then you can spam hero, and the ultimate mana will go to Worldbreaker. Wow, why is this taking so long? There. Very much should use Elementalist class for later fights here in Underspire 2. Right. Do I have sigil? I have one sigil left, so let's take that. Use that to get through the gate. Of course, you can use the Journey event captain here in Underspire 2 and just loop. However, you won't get double magic here in Underspire. The double magic only works in the Journey event. Spam the board. You would take extra turns if you like that, but I'm just trying to get my Worldbreaker going. Right. I think this is about it. Hopefully covered all the events. Have a great week, my friend. Has this out. Peace.